Welcome, fellow cultivators and storytellers, to the grand premiere of our epic journey, the Heavenly Rebellion. This is a brand new channel dedicated to bringing you the finest, most immersive cinematic wuxia and xianxia stories. Your support means the absolute world to me. Before the narration starts, I would love to ask for your support. Please consider subscribing to this new channel, leaving a like, and sharing your thoughts in the comments below. Together, we shall watch empires burn and sovereigns rise. Sit back, relax, and let the adventure begin. The northern wind howls across the desolate plains, carrying the scent of frost and old blood. Prince Luan Tianlong stands atop the ancient granite walls of Yunnan City, his scarred hand resting on the pommel of his sword. At 28, Luan is a legendary figure on the frontier, a battle-scarred prince who has spent 10 years defending the empire from the Northern Coalition. Yet, despite his renown, Luan's cultivation is stuck at the mortal refinement peak, rank 9. He is a mortal peak, yet to break through to the spirit awakening realm. In this world, the power gap between a mortal refinement cultivator and a spirit awakening cultivator is a vast chasm. A spirit awakening expert can manipulate spiritual qi to crush 100 mortals with a single strike. Luan knows this, but he has focused his life on brutal, efficient frontier combat. Tonight, a dark premonition grips him. The sun bleeds red, painting the sky in a crimson hue. Luan whispers, 10 years of holding this line while they feasted in the capital. And still the wind smells like war. A guard captain approaches, reporting the arrival of a messenger from the imperial court under the golden seal, escorted by 30 armed imperial guards. Luan's eyes narrow. He commands the captain to double the watch. A twist is already brewing. Why would the emperor send a heavily armed escort to a loyal prince on the frontier? Eunuch Zhao Bing, known in the capital as the emperor's poisoned blade, steps into the torchlit fortress hall. Despite the dusty journey, his golden silk robes are immaculate. Zhao Bing is a terrifying figure. Behind his soft, polite smile lies a cultivator at the spirit awakening realm, rank 9. The power gap between Prince Luan, a mere mortal refinement cultivator, and Zhao Bing is staggering. A rank 9 spirit awakening expert could easily obliterate 1,000 mortal soldiers. Zhao Bing extends the imperial decree, sealed with the jade dragon mark. His 30 guards fan out, their hand-forged golden armor reflecting the torchlight. General Wei Bolong, Luan's sworn brother, growls in suspicion, sensing a trap. Wei Bolong himself is an earth-profound realm peak rank 9 cultivator, a massive powerhouse who actually dwarfs Zhao Bing in strength. The power gap here favors the frontier. Wei Bolong could crush Zhao Bing in seconds. Yet, Zhao Bing remains serene and unafraid. Why? There must be a hidden twist. Zhao Bing reads the decree, announcing that the emperor has sent his regards. But Luan replies coldly, knowing that the emperor does not send his personal assassin for simple greetings. An oppressive tension fills the stone hall as eunuch Zhao Bing prepares to unroll the imperial decree. The frontier veterans, men who have survived 100 bloody skirmishes, exchange tense glances. Their battle-honed instincts scream that death is in the room. Hands slowly drift to the hilts of their swords. The 30 imperial guards, sensing the shifting mood, tighten their formation around the eunuch. The power gap between the elite imperial guards, cultivators at the spirit awakening realm rank 5, and the average frontier soldiers, who are mostly in the mortal refinement realm, is substantial. A direct clash would result in a bloodbath. General Wei Bolong steps forward, his earth-profound qi faintly flaring, demanding that the guards sheath their weapons. Zhao Bing plays it off as mere ceremony, mockingly asking if the fierce frontier warriors are afraid of a few golden swords. The hidden twist: Zhao Bing has brought a suppression talisman, designed to neutralize Wei Bolong's earth-profound qi, ensuring the imperial decree can be executed without interference. The final blow falls not from a sword, but from words. Zhao Bing unrolls the decree and reads the chilling words in a flat, monotone voice. Prince Luan is accused of treason, frontier corruption, and illegal military expansion. The penalty is death by suicide, using the golden poison provided by the emperor's mercy. Zhao Bing produces a small jade vial containing the lethal draft. The hall falls into a horrified silence. The soldiers are frozen. Wei Bolong's voice breaks like stone, mercy. He calls that mercy. Zhao Bing extends the vial, giving Luan until the third incense stick burns out. Luan stares at the vial. He is calm. The power gap between Luan's mortal refinement cultivation and the sovereign power of the dragon throne is absolute. To defy the emperor is to invite the destruction of Yunno City. Luan asks Zhao Bing, "What crime did I commit that was not first ordered by my father?" A twist, the emperor's true fear is not Luan's treason, but Luan's popularity. The frontier army is loyal to Luan, not the throne. The decree's words spark an immediate, volcanic reaction throughout the fortress. Veterans who have bled beside Luan for a decade draw their weapons, roaring in fury. The 30 Imperial guards close into a defensive circle around Zhao Bing, their hand-forged blades raised. Wei Bolong levels his massive spear at the eunuch's throat, his voice thundering, 10 years. 10 years the prince bled for this empire while the emperor played politics in his golden cage, and this is his reward. The soldiers join the roar, refusing to let their prince be executed. Zhao Bing remains serene, warning them that interfering with an imperial decree is treason. Wei Bolong retorts that they have been traitors since they followed a prince worth following. Luan raises his hand, and the hall goes instantly silent. The power gap between Luan and Zhao Bing is clear, but Luan's absolute control over his men represents a different kind of power. A twist, Luan is not silent out of fear, but because he is analyzing Zhao Bing's positioning and preparing his next move. In the heavy silence that follows Luan's command, his mind floods with a decade of memory. He remembers the quiet costs of the frontier, the soldiers buried in frozen ground, the letters to their families he wrote himself, the children who called him guardian, and the winters survived on half rations because the capital supply lines were always delayed. Luan's inner monologue reveals his journey. 10 years ago I came to this frontier as punishment, a prince too troublesome for court. I was 23 and furious. I thought the north would break me. Instead, it made me. He remembers burying 4,000 men and learning every name. The emperor could not name a single one. The power gap between Luan's battle-hardened loyalty and the emperor's fearful greed is vast. A twist, Luan realizes that by ordering his death, the emperor has freed him from his oath of filial duty, giving him the moral right to rebel. Luan's memories drift back to the first northern winter, a brutal campaign where the enemy coalition's cavalry charge nearly broke Yunno City's eastern gate. Luan had fought for 6 hours straight on the wall with a broken rib, refusing to retreat. After the battle, Wei Bolong found him collapsed behind a supply cart. Wei Bolong had crouched over him, gruff and worried, "You absolute fool. You could have commanded from the rear." Luan had replied, "And what would they have thought? That their prince hides while they die?" Wei Bolong had promised to never tell the men. In the present, Luan realizes this is what the emperor wants to erase, a decade of a man's life and the shared bonds of the frontier. The power level of Luan's character is not just defined by his mortal refinement rank 9 cultivation, but by the iron will forged in those freezing trenches. A twist, Luan realizes that the broken rib from that winter is the very source of his meridian blockage, which has held back his cultivation for years. Clarity arrives like a cold blade. Luan understands now that his father does not hate him, his father fears him. 10 years on the frontier built an army that loves its commander more than the dragon throne. The emperor sent Zhao Bing, a spirit awakening rank 9 expert, to offer a clean death, because he was terrified of what would happen if the frontier army learned he had murdered their prince. The power gap between Luan's mortal refinement cultivation and Zhao Bing's spirit awakening rank remains, but Luan's strategic mind has already bridged the gap. Luan stares down the eunuch and says, "My father is afraid of me. I think I'll live instead." Zhao Bing's serene smile finally cracks, revealing the cold killer beneath. A twist, Zhao Bing realizes Luan has deduced the political leverage of the frontier, making Luan a far more dangerous opponent than the emperor anticipated. The moment Luan decides to live, something ancient and divine awakens inside him. The air crackles with azure sparks. A translucent blue and gold interface materializes before his eyes alone, ancient script writing itself across his vision. The heavenly rebellion system has activated. The system's voice thunders in his mind, announcing his deviation from fate, fate deviation confirmed. Original fate, death by poison. New fate trajectory, unwritten. The system grants Luan an initial reward, cultivation breakthrough catalyst and soul tempering, along with a mission, survive the next 10 minutes. Luan is stunned by this sudden change in power dynamics. The power gap between a mortal refinement cultivator and a spirit awakening expert is about to be bridged by a divine cheat. A twist, the system notes that the Emperor's golden poison vial actually contained a tracking curse, and by refusing to drink it, Luan has triggered an immediate alarm in the capital. The system presents Luan with two clear paths. Around him, the world slows to a crawl, the torches frozen in mid-flicker. Path A represents submission, consume the poison, preserve his legacy, and spare his army immediate retaliation, with a 34% subordinate survival rate. Path B represents rebellion, refuse the decree, resist, and trigger a continental civil conflict, with a personal survival probability of 12% that rises with cooperation. Luan studies the paths. A 12% survival rate is better than the odds he faced at Iron Pass. With a sharp, defiant smile, Luan chooses rebellion. The system updates his survival probability to 18% based on his audacity. The power gap between a single prince and an empire is immense, but Luan's choice sets the cosmos on a new path. A twist, the system reveals that Path A's 34% survival rate was actually a lie manufactured by the Emperor's court. The true rate was 0%, as the Emperor had already signed a secret order to purge the entire Yuno city garrison. For one honest moment, Luan considers the safe path. Not out of fear, but out of the general's habit of weighing every cost. If he dies, his men might live. But Luan knows the court's hypocrisy. He imagines Wei Belong's face when the Emperor inevitably purges the frontier army anyway. He imagines the next incompetent prince sent to command them, and the winters of starvation that would follow. Luan realizes a dead guardian cannot protect anyone. The power level of his resolve solidifies. He will not submit. The power gap between his small garrison and the Imperial Capital's millions is terrifying, but his duty to his men outweighs his duty to a corrupt father. A twist, Luan's inner reflection allows the system to detect his true dragon heart, unlocking a hidden passive trait that increases his resistance to imperial suppression. The calculation is complete. Luan straightens, the decision settling into him like a sword in its scabbard. He looks at Zhao Bing with the eyes of a sovereign. He tells the hall that what he is about to do cannot be undone, offering his men the chance to leave without grudge. Not a single soldier moves. Luan turns to Zhao Bing and says, "Eunuch Zhao. Return to the capital. Tell my father that his third son received his decree, and found it wanting." Zhao Bing's smile vanishes entirely, replaced by cold calculation. The power gap between the two men remains, but Luan is no longer a piece on the Emperor's board. A twist, the Yuno city guard captain quietly signals his archers to target the Imperial escorts, sealing their commitment to rebellion. Luan takes the jade vial from Zhao Bing's hand and hurls it against the stone floor. It shatters. The golden poison spreads across the rock, evaporating in a thin, toxic mist. The sound of breaking jade echoes like a war drum. Instantly, the 30 Imperial guards draw their golden swords. Wei Belong roars to the soldiers to protect the prince, and the guard captain orders the seizure of the traitor. Luan draws his own sword, declaring that today ends differently. The power level of the room skyrockets as both sides prepare for a lethal clash. The power gap between the elite guards and the frontier veterans is about to be tested in blood. A twist, the shattered jade vial's mist is actually toxic to low-level cultivators, but Luan's newly activated system neutralizes the poison around him, while the Imperial guards begin to choke. The Heavenly Rebellion system delivers its first true gift. The breakthrough catalyst floods Luan's meridians like a river breaking a dam. 10 years of compressed cultivation, held back by the mental chains of filial duty, suddenly has no ceiling. His spiritual energy erupts, cracking the stone floor. The system alerts him of his rapid realm advancement, mortal refinement peak to spirit awakening rank 1, then rank 2, and stabilizing at rank 3. Wei Belong staggers back from the pressure wave, and Zhao Bing stumbles in genuine alarm, wondering if Luan had been suppressed at the Emperor realm. Luan stands at the center of the sapphire blue energy storm, awed by the power he has held back. The power gap between Luan and Zhao Bing, rank 9, has shrunk dramatically. A twist, Luan's breakthrough instantly shatters the Imperial suppression talisman Zhao Bing was hiding. The erupting sapphire energy takes the shape of a translucent azure dragon. The torches in the hall blow out and reignite with supernatural blue flames. The 30 Imperial guards are thrown off their feet by the shockwave, and Zhao Bing himself is pressed to his knees by the spiritual pressure. Zhao Bing crawls in terror, unable to believe a frontier prince could wield such force. Wei Bolong grins, laughing that he always knew Luan was holding back. Luan offers Zhao Bing one chance to leave alive, but the eunuch reaches for his sleeve, whispering that he cannot return empty-handed. The power gap has shifted. Luan at Spirit Awakening rank 3, boosted by the system, now exerts pressure that rivals a rank 9 cultivator. A twist, the blue dragon energy begins to repair Luan's ancient meridian blockage, unlocking his true speed. Zhao Bing's hand blurs. 36 poison needles launch from his sleeve, a deadly technique requiring Spirit Awakening rank 9 to execute at full speed. The needles arc toward Luan's throat, eyes, and joints. Zhao Bing whispers, 40 years, boy. I have killed 17 princes. Forgive me. Wei Bolong shouts in panic, too far away. The system instantly activates the soul-tempering reward, augmenting Luan's reflexes tenfold and completing a trajectory analysis within a 0.3-second response window. In the slowed reality of combat time, one sees all 36 needles. The power gap in speed is bridged by the system's reflex augmentation. A twist, the needles are coated in a rare soul-corrupting toxin that can bypass spiritual shields, making physical deflection Luan's only hope. Luan's sword moves in a blur, deflecting all 36 needles in a single, fluid arc. The needles clatter across the stone. In the same motion, Luan closes the distance to Zhao Bing. The eunuch backs away, drawing a thin poison blade, shocked by Luan's speed. Luan tells him, "You said you've killed 17 princes. I've killed 47 enemy generals. Did the Emperor mention that?" Zhao Bing lunges desperately, but Luan steps inside the strike, his blade moving in the brutal frontier style. The power gap in combat experience is clear. Zhao Bing is an assassin, but Luan is a soldier who has survived a decade of war. A twist, Luan's strike utilizes a hidden wind alignment technique granted by the system, making his blade completely silent. Luan's sword finds the single gap in Zhao Bing's cultivation technique, the brief reset between his void step blinks. The blade drives home with the full weight of Spirit Awakening rank 3 energy. Zhao Bing, the Emperor's poison blade, sinks to his knees. He coughs, offering a look of professional respect. Good strike. You found the gap. Luan tells him he served his Emperor faithfully. Zhao Bing warns him that the Emperor will send far more than needles next time, before dying. The hall goes completely silent. The power level of the Emperor's chief assassin was high, but Luan's tactical brilliance and system-guided strike proved lethal. A twist, as Zhao Bing dies, a small communication talisman on his chest flashes, transmitting his final moments directly to the Emperor's shadow network. Luan withdraws his sword. The 30 Imperial guards remain motionless, their purpose shattered. Slowly, the frontier soldiers drop to one knee, a wave of loyalty spreading through the hall. Wei Bolong is the first, planting his spear and offering his life. The soldiers roar Luan's name. The Imperial Guard captain slowly kneels, stating that their message has been declined, and commands his men to sheath their weapons. Luan looks at the sea of kneeling men, commands them to rise, and tells them that what comes next, they face standing. The power gap between a rebel prince and the throne has been bridged by the absolute loyalty of 10,000 veterans. A twist, the Imperial Guards decide to join Luan's rebellion, bringing critical intelligence about the capital's defenses. Wei Bolong calls for a torch and heats a blade. In the ancient frontier tradition, the soldiers seal their oath with fire and blood, speaking their names into the flame until midnight. Luan listens to every one of the 10,000 voices. Wei Bolong asks who follows Luan into treason and glory, and the army roars their consent. Luan swears on the graves of their fallen brothers that he will not waste what they have given him. Wei Bolong asks what they do now, and Luan looks south toward the capital. Now. We build something worth fighting for. The power level of their united rebellion is born. A twist, the blood spilled on the heated blade triggers an ancient resonance in Luan's dragon bloodline, revealing the first map of the Dragon Emperor's lost tombs. Dawn breaks, and 3 frontier scouts arrive at full gallop, their horses foaming. Their news destroys the celebratory mood. The Northern Coalition has mobilized 17 banners, numbering over 200,000 men. Wei Bolong is shocked by the scale. Luan realizes someone sent a fast bird north before the gates closed, alerting the coalition to their rebellion. He commands Wei Bolong to gather the war council. The power level of the coalition represents a continental threat, and the power gap between Luan's 10,000 men and the coalition's massive host is terrifying. A twist, the scout reports that the coalition is led by a mysterious general wielding dark spiritual qi, suggesting imperial collusion. The intelligence is confirmed. The Northern Coalition has mobilized 300,000 soldiers, 60,000 cavalry, and massive war machines. Lin Chuyue, a beautiful strategist in grey robes, appears from the shadows of the war room. She explains that the coalition was waiting for a crack in the Empire's attention, and Luan's rebellion gave them the perfect excuse. Luan asks who she is, and she introduces herself, explaining she predicted this 3 months ago. She uses Phantom Step to move unseen. The power level of her intellect matches Luan's tactical mind. A twist, Lin Chuyue reveals she is actually the daughter of a disgraced imperial general whom the emperor executed, giving her a shared motive for rebellion. Luan climbs the western watchtower at noon. The northern horizon is dark, filled with a forest of enemy flags moving south like a tide. Wei Bolong admits he has never seen so many men. Luan recalls holding against 100,000 at Iron Pass, but Wei Bolong reminds him they had imperial reinforcements then. Luan replies they will just have to be better. The power gap between the two armies is 30-1. To survive, Luan must utilize the system and the terrain to their absolute limits. A twist, Luan spots a group of high-level cultivators flying above the coalition vanguard, indicating the enemy has spiritual experts capable of bypassing Yuno City's physical walls. By evening, the coalition vanguard is close. Lin Chuyue identifies each banner, detailing their tactics, weaknesses, and pride. She describes General Kuro Han of the Wushan Kingdom as a cautious commander who favors encirclement, and General Timur of the Grassland Coalition as an aggressive cavalry specialist who cannot ignore an insult. However, she notes a mysterious golden banner in the center that wasn't in any intelligence report, causing her concern. The power level of this unknown commander is a dangerous variable. A twist, Lin Chuyue deduces that the golden banner belongs to the Crown Prince, Luan's eldest brother, who has allied with the northern enemies to ensure Luan's destruction. Luan spends the night surveying the terrain with Lin Chuyue and Wei Bolong. By dawn, he has positioned supply caches and established 3 concealed cavalry positions. Lin Chuyue watches him work in silence before noting that he has already planned 6 counterattacks. Luan replies that a plan is just a question, and the battlefield is the answer. Lin Chuyue realizes Luan does not fit any of her strategic models. The power level of Luan's military genius begins to close the power gap against the coalition. A twist, Luan reveals he has discovered an ancient, subterranean defensive tunnel system beneath the valley, which they can use to ambush the enemy vanguard. The War Council debates for 3 hours. Half want to withdraw south, while the others want a blind strike. Lin Chuyue lets them argue, and Luan listens silently before declaring they will force the coalition to fight on their terms at Serpent Throat Pass. He asks Lin Chuyue to explain the plan. The pass is a narrow gorge where the coalition's numbers will become a liability. The power gap will be neutralized by the narrow terrain. A twist, one of Luan's generals is secretly sending messages to the coalition, but Lin Chuyue has already intercepted the communication and is using it to feed the enemy false information. Lin Chuyue's plan is elegant: channel the coalition through the pass and strike their cavalry on the flanks. However, General Feng objects that the coalition will simply bypass the pass through Redstone Valley. Lin Chuyue reveals she has already positioned 2,000 cavalry there to create a problem using pine resin and engineers. Luan approves. The power level of Lin Chuyue's foresight proves invaluable. A twist, The problem in Redstone Valley involves creating a massive, controlled landslide that will block the valley and force the coalition vanguard directly into the Serpent Throat Pass trap. At midnight, Luan reviews the system's new missions in his tent. The Heavenly Rebellion system offers major rewards: Frontier Sword-style advanced manual for surviving the siege, a cultivation breakthrough for defeating a higher realm expert, and a legendary weapon for winning against 10:1 odds. Luan notes the odds are 30 to 1, and the system replies it is watching with interest. The power level of these rewards represents Luan's path to absolute strength. A twist: the system warning flashes that a high-level assassin from the capital has entered Yuno City, sent to eliminate Luan before the battle begins. Luan trains alone in the moonlit courtyard, practicing the advanced sword forms and pushing his spirit awakening cultivation to its limit. Wei Bolong watches, urging him to rest. Luan replies he has catching up to do after years of holding back. Wei Bolong lies down in the doorway to act as a sparring partner. The power level of Luan's dedication is clear: he is closing the power gap through relentless effort. A twist: during his training, Luan's sword chi accidentally uncovers an ancient array carved into the courtyard stones, which begins to feed spiritual energy directly into his meridians. During his training, Luan's ancient meridian blockage clears under the pressure of cultivation. His power explodes, jumping from Spirit Awakening rank 3 to rank 5 in a single night. The system reports a 340% increase in combat power. Wei Bolong is jolted awake by the shockwave, demanding a warning next time. Luan realizes he needs a better sword. The power gap between Luan and the enemy commanders has shrunk significantly. A twist: the sudden breakthrough wave involuntarily triggers the ancient courtyard array, activating a defensive barrier around the inner fortress. Luan studies an ancient defensive array blueprint in the fortress library, his fingers tracing the glowing runes. The spiritual pressure of Yuno City's foundations hums in response. He feels a deep connection to the first sovereign. Luan, this array was designed by the first sovereign. It requires dragon chi to activate. My father forgot this. Wei Bolong, can we activate it, my prince? Luan, with my breakthrough, yes. But it requires absolute trust. Luan meets with local sect leaders of the northern border, asking for their alliance. The sect leaders are hesitant, fearing the emperor's wrath and the immense power gap between their local disciples and the imperial army. Sect leader: we are simple cultivators, prince. We do not fight imperial armies. Luan, the emperor sent golden poison to his own son. Do you think you will spare your sects once Yuno City falls? Sect leader: you speak the truth. The green cloud sect stands with you. The fortress blacksmiths work day and night, refitting worn armor with dragon scale inscriptions under Luan's direction. The atmosphere is thick with soot and determination. Smith: these inscriptions will strengthen the steel tenfold, your highness. But we need more spiritual stones. Luan: use the palace treasures Xiao Bing brought. We use the emperor's gold to arm our rebellion. Smith: irony is a fine metal, my prince. Lin Chuyue guides Luan through the hidden catacombs beneath Yuno City, showing him escape routes and ambush points that predated the fortress construction. Lin Chuyue: these tunnels lead directly to the enemy's rear. I used Phantom Step to map them. Luan: you've been preparing for this war long before I arrived, haven't you? Lin Chuyue: in this world, prince, you are either the hunter or the prey. A small scouting party of the Northern Coalition breaches the Valley Watch. Luan leads a swift counterattack, testing his new Spirit Awakening rank 5 power. Coalition Scout: a mere frontier prince cannot be this strong. Luan: tell your generals that the frontier no longer belongs to the capital. Coalition Scout. Lin Chuyue stands alone in the moonlit gardens, staring at the folded fan in her pale hands. Luan approaches, sensing a deep sadness beneath her cold demeanor. Lin Chuyue: my father died because he loved the empire more than the emperor. I will not repeat his mistake. Luan: I do not ask for love, Chuyue. I ask for victory. Lin Chuyue: then we are perfectly aligned. Wei Bolong oversees the civilian storage of grain, preparing Yuno City for a long siege. The citizens work alongside the soldiers, their spirits high. Citizen, the prince gave us his own rations during the winter. We will bleed for him now. Wei Belong, keep the grain dry. We'll be eating well while the coalition starves. Wei Belong, the snow is coming. At midnight, a cloaked figure slips into Luan's command tent, a poisoned dagger aimed at Luan's throat. Luan's eyes open, blazing blue in the dark. Assassin, the Emperor sends his final regards, boy. Luan, tell my father I received them. System. Luan gathers his top commanders around the stone war table, explaining the upcoming battle. The power level of their unified strategy is their only hope. General, we are fighting against 30-to-1 odds. This is suicide. Luan, no, it is a sieve. Only the strong will survive. And we are the frontier. Wei Belong, for the prince. City goes silent as the snow begins to fall. Luan stands alone on the high tower, looking at the distant coalition campfires. The battle begins at dawn. Luan, let them come. Tomorrow, the heavens will witness our rebellion. System. News of City's survival against 300,000 men spreads across the continent. Foreign kings and war rooms ask who Luan is and what he wants. A foreign king reads the report in awe, demanding to meet Luan before he becomes an enemy. The power level of Luan's faction is now recognized globally, changing the geopolitical balance. A twist, the Emperor, furious at the coalition's defeat, announces a massive bounty on Luan's head and mobilizes the Imperial Shadow Network. The battlefield is silent except for the groans of the wounded. Luan's soldiers gather the weapons and armor of the defeated coalition vanguard. Wei Belong, we took 3,000 steel swords and 20 war wagons, my prince. Luan, distribute them to the new sect volunteers. A weapon in hand makes a soldier. Wei Belong, the Emperor is practically paying for our weapons. Lin Chuyue explains the next step, using fake messengers to spread rumors of Luan's death to the coalition main force, inducing them to rush blindly. Lin Chuyue, cautious generals become reckless when they think the enemy is leaderless. Kuro Han will rush the pass. Luan, and we will be waiting. Lin Chuyue, exactly. The battlefield is a theater, and we are the directors. In the Imperial Capital, Emperor Longwei smashes a jade cup as the news of Zhao Bing's death reaches him. His paranoid fear turns to absolute rage. Emperor Longwei, Zhao Bing is dead. The poison blade of my throne. How? Shadow Spy, the third prince, he has broken through his meridian suppression. He is at Spirit Awakening Realm. Emperor Longwei, seize his name. Purge his allies. I want his head. Around the campfires, City soldiers sing an old frontier ballad of honor and defiance. Luan sits among them, sharing their bread and showing his humanity. Veteran, we sing for the fallen, prince. They died standing. Luan, we will all stand together when the capital falls. Veteran, to Luan Tianlong. Luan sits in deep meditation, running the blue spiritual energy through his meridians. The system alerts him to a dormant dragon vein beneath the fortress. System, Luan, let's begin. System. Lin Chuyue formally joins Luan's faction as Grand Strategist, demanding no salary but reserving the right to leave if Luan becomes a tyrant. Luan agrees with a rare smile. The power level of their alliance is solidified, combining Luan's military force with Lin Chuyue's unmatched intellect. The power gap between their rebel forces and the imperial court is now bridged by strategic supremacy. A twist, Lin Chuyue presents Luan with a secret ledger detailing the corrupt cultivation resources hidden in the imperial capital. Luan leads a small detachment through the dangerous northern swamps, seeking an ancient path to outflank the coalition main force. Wei Belong, the air itself is toxic here, my prince. My chi is burning. Luan, keep your breath shallow. The system has provided a clearing pill. Lin Chuyue, the path is ahead. We are almost through. A massive toxic swamp beast attacks Luan's vanguard. Luan steps forward, his sword blazing blue to protect his men. System, Luan, just a beast. Watch my blade. Wei Belong, attack. With a final strike, Luan slays the beast. The system absorbs the beast's core, converting it into raw cultivation energy for Luan. System, Luan, the energy is wild, but I can contain it. Lin Chuyue, you absorb cores directly. That is, unheard of. In the swamp ruins, they encounter a disgraced former imperial general living in exile. Luan asks him to join their cause. Exiled general, I served the emperor for 30 years, boy. He exiled me to die here. Luan, he sent Zhao Bing to poison me. The throne is corrupt. Join us and reclaim your honor. Exiled general, the Iron Shield stands with you. Luan uses his rebellion points to unlock a training array from the system, allowing his core commanders to train at 5 times baseline speed. Wei Belong, by the gods. This array is like a spirit spring. Luan, we have only days before the main battle. We must close the power gap. Lin Chuyue, with this, our generals will match the imperial elite. A shadow spy captures an imperial courier carrying orders to the coalition. Luan reads the betrayal on the scroll. Luan, my father has promised the northern kingdom's 3 frontier provinces if they destroy my army. Wei Belong, he would sell his own land and people to kill his son. Luan, fear makes men monstrous. The empire must fall. Luan and his generals seal their alliance with a blood seal, promising to destroy the corrupt throne and rebuild the empire. Luan, no retreat. No surrender. Wei Belong, to the death. Lin Chuyue, for a clean empire. Luan stands at the northern gate of Yuno City as the winter storm begins. The coalition vanguard is sighted on the hills. Luan, the gate holds. The winter will be our shield, and the dragon our sword. System, Wei Belong, ready the archers. Inside ancient ruins, a jade sarcophagus splits open to reveal the Dragon Emperor art scroll, sealed for 1,000 years. An ancient spirit notes that 47 predecessors failed to survive the dragon's judgment. Luan kneels, accepting the inheritance. The power level of this ancient technique will multiply his combat power tenfold, completely erasing the power gap between Luan and the capital's high-level experts. A twist, the ancient spirit reveals that Luan is the direct descendant of the first Dragon Emperor, making his rebellion a reclamation of his birthright. Luan touches the glowing black silk scroll, and the ancient Dragon Emperor arts flood his mind, rewriting his meridians with golden draconic chi. System, Luan, the power, it burns like suns. Ancient spirit, the dragon has chosen. Do not fail us, heir. Luan tests his new Dragon Emperor arts in the ruins, his simple punch shattering a massive stone pillar with golden dragon chi. Wei Belong, that was just a basic punch. Luan, the chi is condensed. The power gap is gone. Lin Chuyue, with this, the imperial army is no longer invincible. An ancient stone guardian awakens in the ruins, testing Luan's worthiness to claim the dragon sovereign's legendary sword. Guardian, only the true sovereign may pass. Prove your resolve, boy. Luan, I am Luan Tianlong. The frontier made me, and the dragon chose me. System. Luan defeats the Guardian, and a legendary sword, the 7-star Dragon Devastator, rises from the temple altar, its black blade etched with stars. System, Luan, a fine blade. Worthy of a rebellion. Guardian, go, and reclaim the sky. Luan and his companions return to Yuno City. The coalition vanguard has been defeated, but the imperial main force is assembling. Wei Belong, the emperor has mobilized the central guards. 1 million men are marching. Luan, let them march. We have the dragon arts and the 7-star blade. Lin Chuyue, we must meet them at the Valley of 10,000 Peaks. Luan travels to the northern outlaw camps, seeking their alliance. The Outlaw King challenges Luan to a duel of strength. Outlaw King, if you defeat me in 3 moves, my 5,000 blades are yours. Luan, I only need 1. System. The Outlaw King falls to his knees, completely overwhelmed by Luan's spiritual pressure. He pledges his alliance. Outlaw King, that pressure. Earth Profound Realm Rank 9. Luan, rise. We fight for the people, not the throne. Outlaw King, the outlaws are yours, Prince. Luan's vanguard is ambushed by Imperial Shadow Scouts. Luan uses the Azure Flame Step to move in a blur, neutralizing them instantly. Imperial Scout, traitor, the Emperor, knows. Luan, the Emperor's shadow is fading. Wei Belong, clean work, my prince. At the forest camp, Lin Chuyue warns Luan about the heavy toll of civil war. She fears Luan will lose his humanity in the pursuit of power. Lin Chuyue, a million men will die, Tianlong. Can your soul bear the weight of 1,000,000 deaths? Luan, 1,000,000 deaths to end 1,000 years of tyranny. I will bear it. Lin Chuyue, then I will ensure those deaths are not wasted. Luan trains in the forest, pushing his cultivation to the peak of the spirit awakening realm. The system alerts him of his upcoming Earth Profound breakthrough. System, Luan, I have the Snow Lotus Xiao Bing brought. System. The Snow Lotus melting in his core, Luan's cultivation stabilizes. His spiritual energy turns a deep golden blue, the mark of the Dragon Emperor. Luan, the Earth. I can feel its pulse. Wei Belong, the Imperial Army has reached the valley, Luan. It's time. Luan, let's go meet my father's million. The Battle of 10,000 Peaks clashes Luan's 300,000 soldiers against the Empire's 1,000,000. Luan, wielding the Dragon Emperor arts at Sky Profound Realm, faces Emperor Longwei's forbidden techniques. The Emperor accuses Luan of betrayal, but Luan replies he is returning the favor, ordering his army forward. The power level of the clash shakes the heavens, with the power gap between the two forces tested in a devastating struggle. A twist, Luan's system activates a battlefield-wide aura that suppresses the corrupted chi of the Imperial forces, turning the tide of the battle. The two armies face each other in the Valley of 10,000 Peaks. The size gap between Luan's forces and the Imperial host is overwhelming. Wei Belong, 1,000,000. It looks like a sea of gold. Luan, a sea that will soon be dyed red. Stand firm. Lin Chuyue, the archers are in position on the ridges. The trap is set. The Imperial vanguard charges, led by high-level cultivators. Luan's archers release a rain of arrows coated in Lin Chuyue's poison. Imperial General, crushes the rebel insects. For the throne. Lin Chuyue, release the arrows. Imperial General. Wei Belong leads the defense of the center, his spear crackling with war drum chi, shattering the Imperial shield walls. Wei Belong, Iron Wolf General fears no one. Imperial soldiers, Wei Belong, come on, you golden puppies. The Imperial center collapses under Wei Belong's crushing force. Luan leads the elite cavalry to exploit the gap. Luan, follow General Wei. Break their formation. System, Luan, Feng. Face me. Luan clashes with General Feng on the battlefield. Feng, at Earth Profound Rank 5, expects to crush Luan, but is shocked by his dragon arts. General Feng, a mere spirit awakening boy dares challenge me. Die. Luan, the power gap is a lie, Feng. System. Luan slices through General Feng's warhammer and impales him. The system announces Luan's breakthrough to Earth Profound Realm Rank 3. System, Luan, breakthrough. Earth Profound Realm Rank 3. General Feng, the dragon, has returned. Lin Chuyue's outlaw allies ambush the Imperial supply lines from the secret ridges, cutting off the Imperial vanguard. Outlaw King, take the food. Burn the rest. Imperial officers, our supply lines. We are cut off. Lin Chuyue, the checkmate is close. Panic spreads through the Imperial army as they realize they are surrounded. The retreat turns into a chaotic rout. Imperial officers, retreat. Consolidate at the second pass. Retreat. Wei Belong, they're running like rabbits, Luan. Luan, do not chase the retreating soldiers. Let them spread the news of their defeat. Lin Qiuyue explains Luan's next move, releasing captured Imperial soldiers to spread the promise of amnesty, weakening the capital's resolve. Lin Qiuyue, if we execute them, the capital will fight to the death. If we free them, they will open the gates for us. Luan, mercy is a weapon, Qiuyue. We use it well. Wei belong, and it saves us the cost of feeding them. Luan claims his 10:1 victory reward from the system, unlocking a legendary cultivation manuals, the Dragon Sovereign Soul Seal. System, Luan, this will protect my soul from my father's suppression seal. System. Luan's army, now reinforced by local sects and defected Imperial soldiers, begins its march toward the Imperial Capital. Wei belong, the road to the capital is clear. The citizens are cheering for us. Luan, the final battle is close, Wei. Keep the men focused. Lin Qiuyue, the Emperor is waiting. And he has prepared a trap. The gates of the Imperial Capital are opened from within by the citizens, who trust Luan's promise of no looting or vengeance. Imperial soldiers weep as the gates swing wide, and Luan enters at the head of his victorious army. The power level of Luan's moral authority proves stronger than the city's walls. The power gap between the old corrupt empire and Luan's new order has collapsed. A twist, Luan discovers that the emperor has fled to the inner sanctum, preparing a forbidden ritual to sacrifice the capital's citizens for a final power surge. Luan enters the imperial capital. The streets are lined with silent, hopeful citizens. Luan commands his soldiers to protect the markets and civilian sectors. Luan, any soldier who loots or harms a civilian will face immediate execution. We are guardians, not conquerors. Citizens, he is different, the prince is different. Wei belong, the city is secure, my prince. The palace is ahead. Luan walks through the neglected lower sectors of the capital, seeing the poverty and decay his father ignored while feasting in the Golden Palace. Luan, 10 years of feasts while the capital rotted from within. This is why he feared the frontier. Lin Qiuyue, the court spent all the country's wealth on corrupt pills to prolong his lifespan. Luan, the decay stops today. Emperor Longwei stands in the imperial throne room, his golden robes trembling. Having burned his lifespan for power, his cultivation reaches Emperor Realm Rank 4. He unleashes a torrent of dark golden energy, desperate to destroy his son. The power level of the Emperor is immense, creating a massive power gap between him and Luan's regular generals. Luan steps forward alone, his dragon aura flaring. A twist, the Emperor reveals that the system Luan possesses was actually created by the first Dragon Emperor to find a worthy successor to destroy the corrupt throne. Luan and his vanguard storm the Imperial Palace gates. The Emperor's elite shadow guards, cultivators at Spirit Awakening rank 9, block their way. Shadow Guard, Prince Luan. You commit high treason. Face the imperial wrath. Luan, the Emperor's wrath is nothing to the dragon. Wei belong, get out of the way, you golden dogs. Luan's eldest brother, the Crown Prince, stands in the palace courtyard, drawing a poison blade. He confesses to conspiring with the northern enemies. Crown Prince, you were always the favorite, Tianlong. Father sent you to the frontier to die, and yet you returned. I had to sell the north to destroy you. Luan, you sold our people to buy a throne that was never yours to sell. Crown Prince, die. Luan disarms the Crown Prince with a single, precise sweep of the 7-star sword. The Crown Prince falls, begging for mercy. Crown Prince, please, we are brothers, Tianlong. Luan, you are a traitor to Yuno City and the frontier. Your life is forfeit. Wei belong, the prince will face trial. Lin Qiuyue fights a duel in the palace library, using Phantom Step to execute the leader of the Emperor's shadow network, clearing the way. Shadow Leader, the strategist thinks she can outrun the shadows. Lin Qiuyue, I do not outrun the shadows. I command them. Shadow Leader. Luan reaches the grand doors of the imperial throne room. He pauses, realizing that his father, the Emperor, is waiting inside with a forbidden power. Wei belong, the throne is just behind these doors, Luan. Are you ready? Luan, I've been ready for 10 years. Keep the men outside. Lin Chuyue, the Emperor's power is unstable. Be careful. Luan steps into the grand golden throne room. Emperor Longwei sits on the golden throne, his robes stained with blood from the forbidden ritual. Emperor Longwei, you returned, Tianlong. You returned to kill your father. Luan, I returned to save the empire from your fear. Step down, father. Emperor Longwei, never. The throne is mine. Father and son clash in the final battle of the empire. The throne room is destroyed by the impact of their spiritual techniques. The emperor uses dragon vein suppression, but Luan's dragon bloodline resists the technique, his blade slicing through the emperor's defenses. The power level of their duel is legendary, with the power gap closing as Luan's determination outlasts the emperor's desperate fury. A twist, the emperor's golden throne is revealed to be a suppression seal holding back an extradimensional portal. The emperor's cultivation collapses as his burned lifespan runs out mid-technique. He falls defeated, his golden robe stained with blood. He looks at Luan, admitting his fear was justified, before turning to dust. The power level of the old empire is officially extinguished. A twist, the emperor's death automatically triggers the opening of the extradimensional portal hidden beneath the throne, releasing a surge of celestial energy. Luan oversees the arrest of the corrupt ministers and nobles who supported the old emperor's bloody rule. The court is purged of greed. Minister, we were only following orders, Prince. We have gold. We have resources. Luan, your resources belong to the frontier now. Take them to Yuno City. Wei belong, the dungeons are waiting, ministers. Lin Chuyue warns Luan about the northern sects who are attempting to exploit the power vacuum left by the empire's fall. Lin Chuyue, the sects helped us destroy the throne, but now they want to rule the territory. We must establish a council. Luan, a council of the frontier, led by the generals and the sect leaders together. Lin Chuyue, a wise choice. It prevents a new tyrant from rising. Luan issues his first decree to the continent, declaring the empire dissolved and establishing the Dragon Alliance of Free Provinces. Luan, the Jade Throne is gone. The provinces are free. Let the people govern themselves. Wei belong, that's a decree I can support. Lin Chuyue, a legendary choice. The court kneels before Luan, offering him the throne. Luan refuses, declaring he will not be a tyrant in a golden cage. He establishes a council to govern the people, choosing to remain a guardian rather than a ruler. The power level of Luan's character reaches its peak, demonstrating true leadership by refusing absolute power. A twist, the system rewards his refusal of the throne by unlocking the ultimate transcendence path. Luan studies the extradimensional portal beneath the throne. The system explains the impending invasion from the celestial realm. System, Luan, they abandoned our world to rot, and now they return to conquer it. System. Wei Bolong clasps Luan's arm in a final, emotional farewell. He realizes that Luan must ascend alone to fight the celestial threat. Wei Bolong, you've always been ahead of me, Luan. I cannot follow you through that portal. Luan, protect Yuno City, my brother. Protect the alliance. Wei Bolong, with my life, my prince. With my life. Lin Chuyue offers her folded fan to Luan, her silver eyes soft with emotion as she says goodbye before his ascension. Lin Chuyue, you stayed worth it, Tianlong. Reclaim the heavens, and I will keep the continent safe. Luan, we will meet again under the plum blossoms, Chuyue. Lin Chuyue, I will count the days. The Heavenly Rebellion system reveals its final purpose. It was a test to find a cultivator strong enough to ascend and protect the continent from celestial invaders. The extradimensional portal opens wide, revealing the celestial realm. The system prepares Luan for his final ascension. The power level of Luan reaches the transcendent boundary. A twist, the system reveals that the celestial invaders are led by the ancient ancestors of the imperial family who abandoned the continent centuries ago. Luan Tianlong, the Dragon Emperor, takes his first step through the glowing celestial portal. His companions, Wei Bolong and Lin Chuyue, watch as he ascends to protect their world from the heavens. The portal closes, leaving a peaceful continent behind. Luan's legacy is sealed. The ultimate power level is achieved. A final twist, the system interface vanishes, leaving Luan with his own fully realized, transcendent strength as he faces the celestial heavens.